Okay, pillion seat delete and pillion peg removal. Yamaha YZF R125. This is my first gen 2012 model, and I do know that the second gen onwards have different pillion pegs, so the procedure may be the same, may be different. Okay, quick disclaimer, I am not a qualified mechanic. This video is to illustrate how I am going to replace the seat on my bike with a seat cowl and remove my pillion pegs. What you do to your bike, that's on you. Okay, so we'll start with the pillion pegs, and at first glance it looks rather easy because it looks like you simply remove those two bolts and pull the pegs out. But the pegs themselves are actually wider than the holes that they need to come out of. So then I started looking at the tail and wondering whether I needed to remove the tail, which would be absolutely ridiculous. I then began wondering whether I needed to remove this panel underneath, but I very quickly worked out that that wasn't going to be an option because that panel sits inside the tail and on top of the tail, so you can't actually lower that down. And then I realised that the tail itself is only held in on the sides by these little push pins. So now I'm wondering whether what I could actually do is remove those 4 push pins from underneath, and then when I remove those 4 bolts, the tail may have enough flex to move outwards slightly in order for me to get those pegs out. Right, and starting on this side, let's remove these 2 bolts, which actually aren't that bad. You can see the peg moving already. Let's just loosen them for now, because what I want to do now is remove those push pins from underneath. Because these push pins, that one's on the floor somewhere, there we go, these are holding in the side of the tail, and that should give us enough sideways movement on the tail. I suspect this will be fiddly. Ah, there you go. Forward one first. Now that forward one is out, I can twist this. There you go. So there's a top tip. Once they're loose, the forward one comes out first, and then you can pivot it and get it out. Now put them push pins back in and remove the left hand pegs. Okay, that one was a little different. Now, me being a bit of a nerd that I am, couldn't just leave a whopping great couple of holes in the tail now, could I? No, I've bought these blanking plates. Carbon on one side, black on the other. We don't need the carbon, but we do need to work out which side's which. Bolt underneath, spacer above. Looks like the order of business. Washer underneath, spacer on the top. Lovely. So that's the pillion pegs. Pillion seats, even easier, remarkably easier. Okay, so you have 1 bolt at the front, and normally there's a plastic cap on there, but I've just remembered I've never had a plastic cap on mine. There's 1 bolt, and there's the other. Now let me recover these bolts, because depending on what cowl you're fitting. Normally you only need one of those bolts. So this is the seat cowl that I've bought. Some are ABS plastic, such as this one. Others are fiberglass. But the basic principle is that they fit with just the one mounting point. Here it just slides under this mounting point and there's no screw through the top. So it's meant to just slide like so, with just the front mount securing it. So that's tucked in under there. Oh, that's just slotted into place nicely. Something clicked there. That's so nicely slotted in. And that is your pillion peg and pillion seat delete. All done.